My text at 2 a.m.
I saw it later. I thought alarm went off, and that's just that time. I don't know how realistic it is. I think
Well,
maybe
yeah,
if
so they
I
brought
think
it
I
up about changing certainly the pattern. The executive committee call, they think is fine, where we change
we
it
can
to
do
this.
it that time. Okay.
And then they are going to propose to the board a change in pattern for the quarterly board meeting. So
Okay.
at least to a Friday, and then also investigate further whether or not we can change the time zone issue. So
Okay.
there is hope for you.
There is hope. I think it's because I knew I had to get up. This was in the morning. I could flex and come in late, and I was like, I'm like, I don't think the Wednesday time, but anyhow, it's good to see y'all's faces.
We'll see what we can do to fix it though.
All right. The only person I didn't hear from was Brian, and
He sent us an email that he won't be able to be on the call. So I'll send him the recording and the minutes, and he did suggest that maybe we want to replace him because of the issue with him being on these calls, since he's in Italy now.
right, and it doesn't work for him, so we can always change it at the nighttime. That always works, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. Did you ever hear back from Dennis? I know he was on the call once. I don't know if I should send him an email and say, are you still interested, or?
Yeah, maybe, because I haven't heard from him much.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. That's glad you brought that up. We just earlier today we had a committee call, membership and certification, which has got the most members, and we didn't. All we had was the chair, and I was just talking with staff about how do we get better notice out there, reminders, I should say, but even maybe from the chair to the committee. But yeah, we've got to be able to pump up interest from the committee members, because it's, we spent an hour talking with Joel, and while that was fun, there wasn't much, to take from that. And,
Yeah.
but he did talk the whole hour. So, so
Well,
I
anyway,
personally took a lot from it. I worked for like 3 solid hours after that.
he does have a lot of
Stuff he had
ideas.
suggested.
But I think, but the other committees suffer the same issue. It's not just one or two. So, and as soon as I say that, we have somebody joining us.
That might be Jessica.
Hi, this is Jessica.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi.
We were just talking about how to get more members and more involvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
Hi, Jessica. This is Chuck Sapp. I don't know that I've met you or talked with you, but glad to see you're here.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Where are you located?
I am in Leavenworth, Kansas.
Ah, the great state of Kansas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Working out here at the prison.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
But are you originally from Hawaii?
I was stationed in Hawaii.
Okay, because I have an 808 number too. So
So,
Yeah.
so what did you do wrong to go from Hawaii to Fort Leavenworth, Kansas?
Right? I was in Hawaii like 2 duty stations ago.
Ah,
Yeah. They get you at some point.
yeah, yeah.
It's not too bad here though. I actually really like the Midwest.
Great. That's where I'm from. I'm from
Yeah.
Illinois. So
Yeah.
born and raised there. Love it. Miss it, though. I've been in New Jersey for 16 years.
Oh. Oh, wow.
But
That's
I
a big
still do
difference.
miss it.
Yeah. Jersey and Illinois is very different.
Yeah. I tried to convince my wife that they farmed in New Jersey just like they do in Illinois, but she didn't buy it. So
Yeah.
so
I guess this might be it because isn't Jana on at a
She's gone.
conference
She's on
too?
her way to DC, yes.
Okay. Well, one thing we might, since you're on the line, is there, Brian is now in Europe, so we may, if it works for you and others, we may change the time. And I'm trying to figure out when it's 9 o'clock my time. What time is it? Is it like 7 there? Is that the time that would work for Brian? Like the same time we have our executive meeting?
He's 6 hours from us. Yeah.
But I guess
So,
we'll send an email out and see if
Yeah.
that works.
I've got that chart that people can see right off where they're at. So
Awesome. Okay, well, I got the website up and a few times I went to it before this meeting and I was a little nervous at how it looked, but I didn't want to send the alarm, the panic button until the meeting. So it does look like the dimensions are better and that the pixel quality is better.
a little better.
A little better than it was the last time I saw it.
Yeah.
So this is, I guess, is this the best we can get with the dimensions for the homepage?
So I'm going to let that be the door to walk into and talk about a broader issue with
Okay.
the website. And that's one of the reasons I joined this call is that none of us are happy with the front page, the homepage. None of us are really happy with the photo quality, how it displays. And what you're probably not as aware of is staff is pretty unhappy with the site itself, how we can manipulate it, how we can work with it. We've been in contact with the vendor, MemberClicks, and we now know that our system, or at least our template, is out of date and no longer supported. So what we're after them to do is evaluate this old site up against what we now know are more critical needs that we have. When that site was purchased, we were a different organization than what we're trying to do today. And it's only 3 years old. I mean, it's not like it's, 15 years old. But so what we're doing, we have a meeting, Mary and I have a meeting with them. Is it Friday?
Yeah, I think it's,
Where we'll begin this process to evaluate how quickly, or even if they can change the site to where we can use it better. They seem to think by email that they could do that. I'm not as confident about that. And I did inform the board today that we're going to evaluate with them first whether or not this template is savable, or do we move to another frame that they have that might offer more bells and whistles and support for the staff. So, and we're going to make this quick. The board wants it done. They're very supportive of making any change we need to make the site easier to manage. So I don't think there's an issue there, and I don't think the costs are huge. Even if we had to go to a whole new template, I don't think that we're talking maybe 5,000 or something in that range. It's not a huge number. And if we can make something work, then we're just looking at support fees, and that shouldn't be huge either. But the fact is, it has to work easier and better and give us better results than what it's doing now. So I think you can probably agree with that.
Yes.
No.
And I think you remember,
I think my
meetings
monthly
ago-
reports have shown frustration.
Yeah, well, that's okay. That's, we're frustrated too. I want you to know that. And we do know that if they have another template that can meet our needs from the list that we're providing them of the attributes that we have to have, then we'll make that move too. So the last resort, the worst case scenario is their templates just aren't going to work for us, and we have to go to a whole new system. That's a whole nother ball game. But I don't anticipate that to be the issue. I think that they have enough. They have tons of groups our size using their application, and it can work, and it does work for some of the other groups that Tally manages. I think it's just the deal of getting the right template to our needs. I'm sorry, Mary, you had something.
I was going to say, a couple of meetings ago, Jana had asked about, the possibility of having sliders on the homepage and having the content broken into 4 different areas. The template we're in right now does not support sliders. And it's a band setup, so it's like just, rows of information, but I could conceivably set up columns within those bands and give that 4-block look to the homepage. But we still wouldn't be able to do the sliders. A couple of their other templates do support that. So I'm kind of in favor of moving if we can do it at a reasonable cost.
Yeah.
And if the information that we already have in the website can just be transitioned over rather than having to start from scratch and build the whole site again.
So that's where we're at.
Okay, I'm in favor of that as well.
We figured you would.
This current system is
Yeah. The
is
process that I laid out.
frustrating and annoying.
Yeah, the process that I laid out to the board is that we'll do an initial evaluation on Friday with member clicks. And we'll keep this committee informed of whatever step we're in. If it's $1,000 fix, we're just going to fix $1,000 and go on with it. But anything beyond that, this committee will have to review and support. So it's not an office making changes to the website without any involvement. But if it's a move to a different template, which could involve other issues and greater costs, then this committee needs to be involved.
Got it. All right, well, hopefully by next week, we'll have some good news.
We'll know something more, huh?
It's got to be better than where we're at right now. I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we can only go up at this point.
I
Exactly.
as I looked at and talked with the board about, I do believe that when this template was chosen, it was probably the right choice for a group that just wanted to do certifications. But we're in a far different place today. I mean, we're wanting to put ourselves out there through the conference, through the memberships, through the education component, far different group and far different outlook. And so it's going to take a different support, I think, to make it work. So I do think we'll be changing, but we'll see.
All right.
And I have to say, the application process is so much easier in this site than it was in the old one. It's easier for the applicants. It's easier to review.
Yeah.
So that part of it is very strong.
Yeah, we don't want to lose those either.
And the membership information was updated, right, on the website?
Yeah.
I do see that finally, so.
We still
guess-
have some questions with the liability insurance group, HPSO, regarding some further definition about the student membership and who gets the free liability insurance. We hope to, we're talking with Haley on Friday too.
Yes.
So we'll get some leeway there. In fact, it may just boil down that we have to change the phrasing within that descriptor, that this is only, the free insurance is only for, MS and not for a licensed individual that still may be a student. So, but we'll get that resolved, and that'll get up.
To link it back to the newsletter, because I know that's going out soon,
Mhm.
that all new information will be linked.
About the memberships,
Mhm.
not sure I have that written up yet. I can try and get that in there tomorrow.
I know that we talked about, I guess that would be more Joel and Michelle, but how to increase membership for academic and education in the student pipeline. But if we can highlight that in the newsletter that's coming out, I think, or maybe link the homepage to the different memberships or something, so that
Yeah.
now people know that, hey, you can get a academic membership if you're affiliated with a university or something like that. Because I think that would be feasible. I'll send a quick email, or you guys can, to Joel, because they're more in that loop than I am.
Yeah, Joel gave me a lot of good information. One thing I've kind of been waiting for, though, is an update on the benefits. Because
Yeah.
I'd kind of like to highlight, the benefit of an academic membership, the benefit of an affiliate membership. The associate membership we've had for years, that, we're real clear on. The students changing somewhat, but I think we're good on that one. It's just those two, the academic and the affiliate, that I kind of need.
Well, and I think
information on
also
benefits.
the further definition around the student that may not apply or may not get the HPSO. We have our a person working on the details of what an email blast might look like, or some marketing might look like, and we're waiting for that final piece, and then we'll be hitting that. And it certainly could go in the newsletter, and obviously some of that would, but a lot of it would be sending out standalone.
Got it.
And I think you're right. I think hitting up Michelle and Joel for their contacts within the academic world could be helpful.
On that note, did we just, I know this hasn't been talked about in a while, but the whole scholarship thing for students, that all just kind of like fizzled out, or?
I know that we started revamping that back when Pete was still here.
Okay.
And one of the things they did, they were going to change the time frame from spring to fall. And I
Okay.
had pointed out to him that that would mean completely revamping the requirements also, because the scholarship was based on an essay from the year you had just completed in school. So if we went to the fall, like the first year students wouldn't have anything to write about. And the second year students could write about something from their first year. But it was just, I think it just got complicated and it didn't get the attention it deserved.
Okay. I just bring it up because if we're highlighting the student membership.
Yeah, I think the
might be
scholarship's really
something we
important.
need to bring back up
Yeah.
or at least explore. So maybe that's just a action item for somebody to take on.
Okay.
I'll put notes on there. Okay. What else? I'm trying to bring up the trying to bring up the agenda. I feel like that was really what we talked about last time was just the website. We didn't really get any. And working on content and things like that. The email that you sent sounded like, Mary, that people did submit stuff for.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good newsletter. I'll
Okay.
send it to you. I'll send you what I have prepared. I can send that
Okay.
over to you tonight to take a look at.
Okay. The other question, we did talk about, did that come up at the meeting? I feel like I should have just was in the meeting. The social work magazine, or what was the thing on articles or?
Social Work Today, that Christy Cruz Peeler connected us with Social Work Today. It's a magazine. And in our quest for more member benefits, we've been considering a journal, affiliating with a journal. The Social Work Today came up as an idea, or not today, but came up as an idea as well. It's free. They would give it to all of our members for free. Obviously, they make their money on the other end, not on the subscription end. But then there's a discussion about a couple of journals, best practices in mental health and clinical social work journal. Still have to have a conversation with that publisher. That's Sage Publishing. But there are others that could be a possibility. As we're plainly, we're just trying to build the name and build a member benefit that might impress people. So yeah, so that's how that came up, and so that's before the membership and certification committee to put forth a proposal. And they're not gonna be able to do that till I have a call with Sage, which should be the end of this week or maybe first of next. And so they can come up with a recommendation back to at least the executive committee, I would think would be the first blush of that. And I can tell you what the economics of it may look like, but you're the ones that are gonna have to say whether or not it fits with what your vision of the association is. This is relating to another issue that Stephanie Felder put forth. She connected me with Ray Barrett and Telemental Health, and it's a continuing education provider. And while we want to build our own library of content, it's going to take a while to do that. They're willing to associate and give our members a 10% discount for what they have, while at the same time, our organization would receive a 15% payout for every one of our members that did take one of their classes. So, it wouldn't be a huge moneymaker, but it would give us a return. But again, the question is whether it's a good deal financially. Is, do you all want to be associated with that particular CE provider? So that's another one that'll be coming out of Stephanie's committee as a recommendation if they think that meets at least the committee's view of an appropriate affiliation. And again, the EC would probably see that first. Hopefully that won't be too long either. Maybe the following week. It was exciting. We didn't have a, are you looking at the taped? Are you listening to the taped board call?
Hmm?
Sharu, were you listening to the taped version of the board call today?
No, I just,
Okay.
no, I haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah, I just was reading over the emails from Brian and discussion on, it looks discussion that happened, so.
Yeah, it was a very, well, we didn't have a quorum, so there was no action to be taken. So it kind of left everybody open to have a free, an easy conversation, and went a lot of places. It was worthwhile. I think that's what we all need to do in a strategic setting mode. And I think that'll tell you quite a bit about the direction of the group. Very, very helpful.
I guess action steps for the communications committee for the next few weeks. Could we kind of go through the notes and see if there's anything that the committee members or the board needs to do? I mean, did you get the blog? Is there a blog for November yet, or?
Well, I
That's
always
something
get
I
one
know.
from Jana, so we're always covered by at least one.
Yeah, I think I did that on purpose because I wanted to give people time to
I
marinate. That
haven't
they have
gotten
something.
another actual blog, but I did add, Joel had sent me the social work today call for papers. I put that on the blog and it's in the newsletter. So, our membership is invited to submit papers to the magazine.
Got it.
So we got that in there.
Might want to consider publicizing that the conference isn't going to be until 2024, because that has come up in my circles. I don't know if we want to put that on the website or in the newsletter. How soon are we still waiting? If it's for sure going to be April 2024, but
Yeah.
because people are trying to plan for next year, and I'm like, I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, next year is well, it's our next year. It's our next fiscal year. And yes, it occurs toward the end of our next fiscal year, which makes it almost a year and a half away. But yeah, the commitment is from the board that we're going to move ahead. We are now looking to send out an RFP for different sites, but it'll be April of 24. It'll be the Northeast, and the Northeast could go from DC up to, I guess up to Maine. But so I think we'll probably get some pretty good locations there. It does put us right in the middle of our membership demographic in that area, and probably would get more people in a drivable distance than where Florida, everybody had to fly. So, well, you've got to fly regardless too.
Yeah.
But
If we
and
have it in
probably
Hawaii,
Leavenworth.
Hawaii or California on the West Coast, but
Yeah, just
closer.
still a long paddle.
But maybe we can put together some sort of a, save the date.
Yeah, I mean, I just,
And-
so at least for like government employees and military, I mean, they have to project out over
Yeah.
a year and a half or something. And so it might, I know it sounds really early, but maybe in the next couple months, put some, if not sooner, on the website or send out an email.
I wouldn't be opposed of a general save the month and save the location type of a deal until we can fine tune it. But I think anything to put out there, I had an email myself that I responded to and let them know that it would be in the Northeast and it'd be in 24, April of 24. We know that much. And I think that could help some people. He was going to register regardless. So we're a little bit early for that, but anyway, you're right. We need to get inside the budget calendar a bit better than we were last year. I don't know. I don't know that we should expect a city I think we're probably a good 2 months away from a city being named. But the date, I think the date's the month of April. I think that's easy. So what do you think, Mary? Is that too broad?
I think I can put something together that's, even though it's broad, it will at least let people know that we're headed in the direction of, spring in the Northeast.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's going to be a hybrid, like the last one. So, yeah, let's work on that. Let's work on that with Rachel and see if we can't. And Melissa, I guess, should be involved in that.
We can also, we can pull Sharon Murphy in for graphics if we need to.
Good. I was real glad to see her get involved. I didn't know that she was available, actually. So,
She said this was just approved recently. She's helped me here and there with a couple of little things, but now it's like, this is going to be part of her job.
good.
So,
She's excellent. I'm glad to see that
yes,
we can take advantage of her, so. In a good way. She's a very hard worker, so. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna duck out of here. And leave that assignment of tasks to Mary, so I can avoid that. Or Garrett, I guess it's Garrett now, isn't
it's
it?
Garrett now. I'm just here for support.
Well, you guys have a good rest of your meeting, and I'm gonna duck out and talk with you later. Sharu, call me if you have any questions about the board meeting.
I sure will.
Okay,
Thanks so
Bye-bye.
much.
Bye.
Night, Chuck.
Bye. All right. So what other action items do we need to tackle in the next 20 minutes or so?
I did, when I was emailing with Brian, I told him I did finally get the okay to change advanced generalist to advanced clinical practitioner. So I've updated that language on a bunch of pages, but I'm telling everybody, if you see advanced generalist anywhere, just send me a link to the page and I'll get it fixed.
All right. I don't know if there's. Is there anything, I know Brian and maybe Jana, I don't know if there anything like committee members can assist with in terms of communication. At this point, is there any?
I'm always up for people sending me the text that they would like to see associated with the different things we discuss. Writing content is not my strength.
Okay,
The technical part of it I'm great with, but the creative part is not really where I'm strong. So
got it. So the actual text and content. Okay. Hopefully by the next week or so, we can fix the website. That homepage has got to go.
I know it doesn't look good at all.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
the worst because I added that picture and I was like, oh, I think I finally got the right size. And then I was like, oh, Jana's face is covered by a link. So we moved the link and then we pulled it up on our cell phones and I was like, oh, it's just Jana's face on your cell phone. So I was like, okay.
It looked better before.
Oh, with the general picture,
With the stock photo.
Yeah.
the stock photo?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at
And
least I
here's what I
thought.
have found out about that. So that's called a hero image. And it is supposed to be just a stock photo. And information is supposed to be on top of it, which is why originally it had a blue film over it, that we fought so hard to get that blue film removed. But that was so that text would show better on top of it. But when we first went into MemberClicks, it was kind of Pete was building the website. And then when Pete was gone, Melissa and I took it over, but without a lot of the information. Even though Pete left us all kinds of notes, but yeah, that homepage has never been what it should have been and what it was intended to be.
Okay, well,
So hopefully now
I
we can
hope
get
we
it
can
fixed.
fix it in the next couple of weeks.
I work in a different template with another client, and I've told Chuck that if we're going to switch, I think switching to that template would be good. It has pretty much everything we've talked about in the past. So, you can do the sliders at the top, and you can have graphics, and you can have text boxes. And I think it would be a better option for us.
Okay, I'm all
And
for
it
it.
is still available.
I'm all for it. I don't know if there's anything else. I think we talked about a lot of stuff. I'll keep pinging, and you keep pinging everyone to submit content. And if there's anything that you know, Jessica, like in your region, like anything clinical or anything that related to social work that'd be useful to our members, please send it to Garrett and Mary and myself. So, because we're always looking at keeping up with current clinical information to pass on to our members.
Okay,
And
Will
right
do.
now we have board members assigned to do blogs at different points, but we welcome blogs from anyone, anytime. Just, send me anything you want and I'll get it up on the website.
Oh, I'm on a call. I should be at work right now or going to work. On my way. But next month is there's no daylight savings here. So next month
Next
it'll
month, we're
be
back
like-
on regular schedule, yeah.
for me, yeah, it would be like a different time for you guys, but I would already be at work, I think. If we keep this time, I guess that's to be determined.
Yeah, because we fall back,
Mm-hmm.
so I always get so confused about which direction we're going.
Fall back, spring forward.
Yeah, I just want them to get rid of it. Decide on a time and let's keep it.
It's only in America. You know the history behind that?
Yeah, I do. It was
kind of
for
annoying.
farmers.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying to make people work more. Yeah, it's only America that has that, but anyways, I don't want to digress because I know everyone's time is precious. So yes, if we can get more content, I think that's where we last were. So Jessica, if
I
you
will
have
send
anything-
you a draft of the newsletter as soon as we're off the call so that you can take a look. It should go out on Friday. But that's still plenty of time to change stuff if there's anything you see that you want changed.
Got it. All right, anything else? Got anything for me, Garrett?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Jessica, any last thoughts?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, I guess we'll end the meeting then if there's not anything new.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sound
Did
good?
you want to think about changing the time of this meeting, or is this still good for you going forward?
It's good for me. It's only Brian because he moved to Europe. And so now it's like 11 something at night, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I think it works for everyone but him.
Mhm.
And if we do change it, I think it would have to, for it to work for both of us, it would be the time that it would be like my evening time, which is y'all's like, you're in the East Coast, right? So I think it would be like 7 or 8 y'all's time. I don't know if that works for y'all, but
7 or 8 p.m. or in the morning?
AM, no, it'd be like,
8 I can make work. 7's pushing it.
I have an 8 o'clock tonight.
Oh, wow.
okay. Do one of you guys do that doodle thing or?
Yeah, I can do
I can
doodle.
do it. Yeah, we can do a doodle.
And then, I guess get with, Chuck, because when he did it, he already put in the Guam and the Italy time when we tried to do it before. So like people already in their email knew the conversion of the time. So, because I'm not opposed to changing it if it's late, like the kind of like with the other meeting, like if I do need to stay up late and it's like a Friday, then that's fine, because then the next, which is y'all's Thursday, because then the next day I wouldn't have to get up early if I'm staying up late for a meeting. So, and I think Brian, I think with him, or when it worked before, it was like they're mid-afternoon or something, but it was, I think they're 6 hours ahead of us or behind us. I always get, you guys are always behind us, 6 hours behind in Europe. And then I think it's 14 on the East Coast for you guys.
A lot of math.
It
I
is
need
a
an
lot.
infographic for it, and I'll figure it out.
But when y'all do the doodle, I'll send an email out to Dennis to see if he's still interested in being on the committee. But make sure to include him because he's still getting the emails, right? That
You
we
Yeah,
should
have.
be,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll send him an email right now and check in with him.
Yeah. And you were interested in switching the day too, right?
No, the day is fine for me if we keep it this time. It's just, I think it's just up to Brian and
Okay.
yeah, the day really doesn't matter. What's gonna happen, I think, is it's just gonna change to evenings for me.
And then if we can't make the time work,
We'll just keep it.
and try to find a replacement for Brian on the committee, which was what he
Yeah.
suggested.
Yeah,
Sweet. We'll get a doodle pull out to you probably by the end of the week for that.
all right. Thanks, everybody.
Of course.
Have a good night there.
See you guys.
Bye.
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 Take care.